Today, I talk about Polk hiring some of the best poker coaches for the Upswing Lab and YouTuber Cat getting lost in a poker tournament. How are you doing today? Welcome back to WSOP Poker, where I talk about poker news, poker life, and poker strategy. Polk went the extra mile to get some of the best coaches for the Upswing Lab. Let's have a brief look at it. We got Phil Hellmuth bringing you some tilt control. We got Victor Blom teaching you all about bankroll management. And then also Alan Kessler with some big stack poker. These were clearly my favorite courses, and if you want to learn more about poker from these guys, you can click my affiliate link in the description below. A few days ago, YouTuber Catrific uploaded a YouTube video about herself entering a $400 tournament and then accidentally getting seeded in a $1,700 tournament. She did not report this until, the first break, which I think was about after 2 hours, even though she realized it somewhere in the middle. And then according to her, the floor got really mad at her and was harsh to her, and then she wondered and asked on Twitter why that was. Afterwards, there was a heated discussion on Twitter about this incident, and I think a lot of the reactions were just way over the top. Why not just go with this answer that Bill Perkins submitted? The instant you realize you're in the wrong tournament, you stop, get up, and notify staff. That's clear. Why didn't, or more specifically, did your chip stack influence your behavior will never be known. How nice being director was isn't or is irrelevant drama. I think that Bill Perkins is just on point here. He tells Kat what she did wrong and nothing more than that. He doesn't unnecessarily add on things that I think some others did. For example, even though Mukul here makes some good points when he talks about her friends giving her some really shitty advice to act dumb in that situation, which I think, we should be judging a lot more harshly on, because if you're telling somebody who's in the wrong tournament, to just act dumb and basically scam, yeah, that is some really bad intent, which, I don't think we can most definitely say for Kat here, or at least for what she's been saying in her video. And then on the other hand, obviously, I also want to point out that I think, Mukul goes too far here. For example, when you look at the wording exactly, for example, when he talks about her remembering somebody's name that was harsh to her, and then not remembering somebody's name who has been nice to her, being a clear sign of bad character, at least saying that in his own words, I think that's just, highly assumptive. I mean, we all forget names, and yeah, it's probably true that most of us, and I would argue 80 or 90% of us would remember somebody's name or somebody's dealer's name who's been extremely, out of line or has done some really bad mistake, because we tend to remember negative events more so than positive events. That's just how we are as human beings. But that's like a totally separate point. The claim that she was the only person that's wrong here. I'm gonna get to what I think should have also happened in this case. So before Kat got into this situation, at least 2 people made a mistake. The person issuing the tournament tickets are typing it in and printing out the ticket. The dealer at the tables, who didn't even check the buy-in of that ticket and just tell her to sit down and hand her over the chips. He has the responsibility, obviously, to tell her that she's in the wrong tournament. So this obviously will not happen very often, and there's obviously some shared responsibility. Also, when it comes to the EV loss that a lot of these players had, I think it is there is some EV loss, because obviously Kat, when she was playing in this tournament, could have won more chips from the table, causing an EV loss, than losing at the table, even though her buy-in didn't even count. You can obviously, as a tournament director, or if you're doing this kind of tournament, you could just add on those $1,700 to the prize pool and then make it kind of neutral EV for that table. Or you could just, estimate an EV loss for the table, which I would assume is maybe between 3 and 5% of the buy-in per player. Maybe that's even a little bit generous, and just give out some vouchers for clearly also having a mistake on your end. Also, I want to make a point about perspective. We got Catrific, who just made a YouTube video that was probably not the smartest idea because she got a lot of people against her in this debate, which I can, understand a lot of the people addressing her. I just think some people went way too far. But the perspective is that how big of a deal is it really? Like, yeah, YouTube videos can have consequences, and as a YouTuber, you obviously have responsibility on what you put on your YouTube channel. No doubt about it. But how consequential is that YouTube video really? For example, the floor guy? Probably not much at all. Like, nobody of Cat's followers is going to go to that floor person, even though maybe they know their name, and just, insult the guy or somebody. I think that would be really interpretive, and I mean, it could happen. I'm not saying it couldn't, but I think that would be over the top. And putting that perspective or that incident, which is maybe about $1,000 maximum, which can be, corrected really easily, or just also judged or just pointed out really easily, like the way Bill Perkins did, and then compare that to Daniel Negreanu and saying more rake is better. Like, I have no words for that. That is just so much on another level. I just cannot understand that a discussion. I didn't check the numbers exactly, but there seems to be a lot of heat about this one, and obviously there's a lot of heat about Negreanu. Whereas with Negreanu, I can totally understand it, and I'm all about pointing out what bullshit Negreanu has said, because first of all, he's getting paid millions of dollars, doesn't have to give a fuck what I or somebody else says about him. And then second of all, he's clearly in the wrong what he's done in the last couple of years, like backing a company who has stolen from players. So totally different perspective, totally different incident. And I think people, they are heated about a thing that's probably not as relevant and a lot more heated, or, on the same level as something that's actually really, really bad for poker. All right, that escalated a little bit into a rant. I'm gonna head over to WSOP tomorrow, where I'm gonna play some pot limit OMA tournaments, 550 buy-in, 2K buy-in, really great tournaments with $1 million guaranteed for the ladder. You can follow me on Instagram, the link is in the description below. Thanks guys for watching.